if you don't know, or you've been under a rock, or you just don't care about basketball, the NBA is under investigation by the FBI, man. Chauncey Billups, Pistons legend, arrested in a illegal gambling, poker scheme, cheating, all that. And Heat's guard, Terry Rozier, said Heat guard, Terry Rozier, has been arrested. And by this time, they've been arraigned and released on special conditions, given up passports and so on and so forth. But I want to get some extra information from Low.
On this channel, we don't upload on back-to-back days, but I'm going to be honest with you, this may be one of the biggest stories in the NBA we've seen in years. For those who are unaware, earlier today, news broke that the NBA, players, coaches, and anyone who was involved is under investigation from the FBI. And what is being alleged is pretty steep allegation.
FBI Director Kash Patel announced the takedown of a massive illegal gambling ring involving NBA players, coach, and mafia families. The operation across 11 states led to 30 arrests, with more expected as the investigation continues. 30 arrests across 11 states. They was doing the work. Hey, you know what they say, when the FBI come knocking, they coming to get you. You go. Best believe they got all their ducks in a row. Best believe they got all the information they needed to arrest your ass. So this is mind boggling, man. This is mind boggling that on the third day of the NBA, that this is what comes out in the rise of sports gamblings and all of these sports books out here, that this stuff can potentially be rigged. Is I don't know if y'all getting the gravity of this, but these boys is cooked. And I know there's more people too that they got to get.
The FBI is doing a wide-range investigation on illegal sports betting and rigged poker games that have been backed by the mafia. In these allegations, there have been over 30 people who have already been arrested.
And it's the mafia too. I forgot that. I didn't even mention that it's mafia families involved. This like the Sopranos extended universe for me right now. What the hell was y'all doing working? And I think Chauncey Billups is the one connected to the mob thing, and Rozier potentially. Maybe he correct me, but what were y'all doing? Y'all have everything to lose. Like, addiction aside, greed aside, what were y'all thinking? This is incredibly selfish if they go down for this, because they're going to affect the more often than not, they are the primary breadwinners. Terry Rozier, $23 million contract. Chauncey Billups, I don't know how much money he's amassed over his career and within coaching, but brother, y'all are responsible for so many people. And the people are, and I feel like that's being not highlighted, but understated in the situation, is these people are going to potentially be, I don't know what they're going to do. But they're going to be affected negatively in some type of way.
The three people that we are familiar with in this investigation that have already been arrested are Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, and Damon Jones. Now, when doing a video like this, I want to be very responsible and respectful to the process that comes with arresting people and putting them in jail. So far, this is just an investigation. Even though there are arrests being made, everything is allegations, and everyone involved is innocent until proven guilty. But with that,
it's the FBI, gang. I don't know. What's the FBI? What's the FBI hit rate in federal courts? Acquittals are extremely rare. Only 290 were acquitted at trial, roughly 0.4%. Meanwhile, about 89.5% pleaded guilty. 8% had charges dismissed. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, will this be considered white collar? Because I'm skipping over because I don't know if they have weapons involved, but white collar. Hey, okay, maybe they got a chance if gambling is considered white collar. then maybe they got a chance.
FBI is involved. We are talking about an agency that will not take the steps until they have done their due diligence. And in the reporting, we are talking about years of investigation. We are talking about the feds. When they get involved, they have more than enough evidence to really throw the book at you. So even though these are allegations, and even though everyone is innocent, it's not looking that good at all for the 30 people who are involved and have been arrested, especially for Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, and Damon Jones. So what?
Hey, y'all got to snitch, brother. Y'all better sing. Y'all got the means to protect yourself. It might cost you some bread, but y'all gonna have to snitch. I don't see no way out of this one. I don't see no way out of this one, buddy. Y'all gonna have to snitch. Y'all might have to, not might. Y'all gonna have to snitch. It's over with unless you do anything other than that.
What exactly has happened? What exactly is being alleged? How exactly did we get here? Because it is pretty steep. Well, there are two separate indictments that are occurring. The first involves 6 defendants accused of participating in sports corruption schemes that exploited insider information involving NBA players and teams. The defendants leveraged their connections to place prop bets based on confidential insider information, winning tens of thousands of dollars per bet. The second indictment involves 31 defendants charged with participating in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. And the FBI claims the way they were able to pull this off is that they used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. Now, it's very important to understand that
this shit is crazy.
People that we are familiar with in this story, Billups, Rozier, and Jones, it's very important to make sure you connect the dots accordingly. Terry Rozier specifically is associated with the prop bets. He's associated with the insider information for prop betting. Chauncey Billups is specifically associated with the rigged poker games, and Damon Jones actually is associated with both of these indictments. So big ol' yikes if you're Damon Jones.
Damon Jones, brother. Yeah, he might have to do some Hall of Fame levels of snitchery, because the other two potentially if I'm going D1 snitching for Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, you might be cooked. This is the second investigation they doing on your ass, bro. Terry Rozier might have the, I don't know, depending on what his case come out. Yeah, I would put him in the category of D1 snitching too, because if it's props, but brother Damon Jones, you with the two in both rings, you was dipping in both. Yeah, man. Either you going down, or you better order that Italian beef and Pepsi right now.
Big old yikes. But how exactly did they catch him, and what are the details pertaining to both of these indictments? Now, when it comes to Damon Jones, what is being accused is that he would use his relationships and information as a former player, and is even an unofficial assistant head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers on players who would or would not be available, and pass along that information. He actually did this, allegedly now, with LeBron as well. It is being accused that back in 2023, in a game against the Milwaukee Bucks, Damon Jones had some information before the public did that LeBron was not going to play, and with LeBron not being available, of course, pass that information along to someone else, and then they decided to bet on the Bucks, and of course won large. But what I believe is way more damning is that we're talking about NBA players allegedly now claiming that they were being told, or that they're telling people that they're going to take themselves out of the game early due to injuries, and then of course not be able to hit their over on a certain bet, which will then translate to tens of thousands of dollars per bet. And it make it,
like, thinking about stuff like this for the skeptics and the people who partake in gambling, including myself. How can you not be so skeptical of every single bet you place that didn't hit, or players going out with injuries? It's very common that players head to the locker room. You follow Underdog, turn on the notifications. Players out, player questionable, heading back to the locker room. And I took a break on NBA specifically, but last year, but NFL, yeah, it's common players go out with injuries, and some books have fair play, some books haven't. FanDuel specifically notoriously don't void bets when players go out, but some other books are getting a little bit more attractive with the fair play thing. But how can you not be so paranoid about stuff going on or tampering going on with your bets when stuff like this is going on?
Even worse, even if there are certain gambling companies and entities that may put a cap on how much money you can bet, this was a whole operation. They had multiple people putting money down everywhere. Gambling sites, in casinos, in person. They would come in person and drop off money. Terry Rozier, still a part of this, has been one of the biggest culprits of these allegations. Claims. The FBI says the NBA player Terry Rozier told defendants that he was going to leave a game early on March 23rd, 2023 with an injury. The defendant then placed a bet more than $200,000 on the under for his prop bets, with Rozier leaving the game after 9 minutes. Those bets paid out tens of thousands of dollars in profit, and the defendant and Rozier counted the money at his house. ESPN continues in this article to remind us that Terry Rozier was indeed connected to Jontay Porter. For those who need me to jog in memory, especially because I don't think we covered that story on this channel, but Jontay Porter, who was a center for the Toronto Raptors, banned from the NBA last year as Porter pled guilty to conspiracy charges and admitted in court to manipulating his performance in 2 games during the 23-24 season. He is awaiting his sentence in December, but just be very mindful. Effectively, Jontay Porter claimed that something happened with his eye. He had to get out the game. And of course, if you knew that he was going to do that, then you would put a bunch of money on his unders and you would make a bunch of money, which seems to be the exact same thing that happened with Terry Rozier.
Low key, because I'm not a big under better, but low key, man, if you would have been in on who's that innocent person who just so happened to place a bet on Jontay Porter's unders. If you even knew Jontay Porter was in the NBA playing for the Raptors, who was that? Who was that person on that fateful night that placed that bet on him, over or under, either being pissed off or being very, very happy that he went out early and your bet paid out immediately. Well, not immediately when the game was over.
Rozier and his foot injury. His foot injury. Yes, Terry Rozier has been caught in that fashion, and there has been several other teams that have been put money on that are in connection to this as well. Those teams are as followed: the Charlotte Hornets, Portland Trail Blazers, Los Angeles Lakers, man, and Toronto Raptors. So
the King got gamblers on his team, dog. The King. No wonder they be selling, dog.
That is the first one, and it's a pretty damning one. And it certainly puts into question the legitimacy of gambling sites being intertwined with the NBA. And I'm going to go as far as to say that is the most problematic one, because the NBA, as well as some of their partners, such as ESPN, have effectively been in bed with gambling platforms, companies for years now, to the point where ESPN has their own betting subsection, their gambling subsection called ESPN Bet. And to try to separate themselves from this, on ESPN early this morning, they had to just completely remove it off the ticker. They just, let's go and take that down off the ticker, man. Let's go and take that down off the ticker. So y'all see right here in the bottom right-hand corner, ESPN Bet.
Because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place.
That bitch gone.
Now, the second allegation is effectively you had these mafia members, people with a large amount of money, coming in and investing in these poker rings that had very clear evidence that they were cheating and getting as much money as possible out of people. And what they were doing to try to lure people in is use NBA players as the face of these games. That's how Chauncey Billups got involved, allegedly, and that's also how Damian Jones got involved, allegedly, as well. But what exactly is going on at these poker games? The FBI says that the defendants utilized altered shuffled machines to read the cards in the decks and then relay the information to an off-site operator. The operator, known as the quarterback, then sent the information to someone at the table. The FBI also says that the defendants utilized other cheating technologies, including poker chip trays that would read cards through hidden cameras, special contact lens, and glasses that could read marking cards, and X-ray poker tables that could read face-down cards.
Bro, what was that movie? Was it? Oh, it's Focus. That Focus movie with Will Smith and Shorty. They had that. They was moving like him. You talking about y'all had contact lenses and X-ray tables, and so all that shit was real. Was that based on a true story, dog? Because they was out here. They was out here jugging. And when I'm thinking about this, I'm like, did y'all lose a couple hands on purpose, or was y'all just playing every single hand perfectly and winning every game? Because I guarantee you, that's part of the reason why they was like, all right, this shit is fishy. They come in here and they play this shit the exact same way perfectly every single time. Nah, bruh. And I'm not even a poker player, but I'm more of a Uno guy myself. But if somebody specifically or something, any card game was playing this shit perfect to a T every single time, like, all right, man, is you peeking at your cards when we looking the other way? What are you doing? How is you this good? We're playing spades or we playing euchre or something, and they playing everything exactly perfect. How the hell is you doing? How do you know? How do you know all this? Can you see into the future or something? Like that shit is insane work. The technology that they had, hidden cameras and all this other shit. They was busting their ass.
I'm not gonna lie, when they were explaining how detailed the cheating was, that's when I knew it's over. You're done. You're done. If they have all of that on you, if they have everything they know about how they cheated, if they know all the information about how they passed along what your cards were, X-ray tables so they can see face-down cards.
You just said contact lenses.
So it's done. Now, the FBI says that the defendants robbed victims at gunpoint as well. They were robbing people at these events. Robbing people at the events.
So you couldn't take well enough alone that y'all fleeced them in stealing their money basically in these poker games. You legitimately strong arm robbed these boys too. Well, grown, they not boys, they grown men, but y'all know what I'm saying. Strong arm robbery as well. Come on, dog. Or armed robbery, not strong arm. Armed robbery. I don't know how they potentially did a strong arm, long arm. Either way it go, they got their money took.
It wasn't enough that they were already cheating. It wasn't enough about the X-ray tables. It wasn't enough about the shuffling machines. No, people also were getting robbed at gunpoint at these events. It's done. It's done. The FBI has been working on this investigation for 4 years. 4 years.
I love how they got it. They get to give them like cool names. Operation Sports Gambling Operation Nothing But Net. Investigation called Operation Royal Flush. They were jogging. They was having too much fun putting this together, dude.
Victims losing at least $7 million. One specific victim lost at least $1.8 million. The FBI reviewed thousands of...
And just make me feel that much. I'll be sick after I lose $10 on the same game parlay. After I put $15 on a single prop and it lose. But you getting up to $1,000, $2,000, $1 million, bro, and you kept going back. Yeah, you got me. Nope. So I'm surprised they didn't rob them. I'm surprised they didn't rob them as much money as you had. You could have hired somebody to come. You know what? They've been cleaning me up at these poker games. We gotta get them back. We gotta hit back. I'm surprised they didn't get violent after that, losing that much money. But that just goes to show that they probably had a lot more money than that. But losing $1 million, I don't care how much money you got.
Hours of video
I can't let this slide.
Executed more than 24 search warrants. Now, I'm going to say this about the poker games, and I'm going to be as generous as possible. From my sources, not going to tell you who, but from my sources, there is a possibility that the NBA players who were involved, and there could be more NBA players that were involved, may not have been completely aware of what was occurring, rather than just using their names to lure people in to allow all the other illegal activity to happen. Not saying that my sources are correct, but I just want to put that out there. There's a lot of blurred lines on how involved many of these NBA players are when it comes to the poker games. But the rigged prop bets, making sure that they hit the unders, it's not that much blurred lines behind that. It ain't really that many blurred lines. When the FBI gets involved and they come and arrest you, trust me when I say they have years and years of evidence to go off of. They got you, dog. They got you. The only way you're going to get out of this is if you snitch. You need...
I told you, G. I told you, G. I fear for my life. You better get in there. I fear for my life. It's the mob, G. It's the mob. Gun to my head. You better get to telling. You better get on your best Denzel Washington performance and get to acting like you was in peril to get up out of this one. Cause I don't see no way out. Shout out to Solo Bahati, but I don't see no way out of this one. Your time has come
to snitch, because we talking about big king pins. We're talking about mob bosses, mobsters, mafia. That's what we're talking. You need to snitch. Let it go. You're not like that. You're an NBA player. That's not your body. It's just not your. It's not your body. You need to snitch.
Tell them what you know.
You need to snitch right now. I don't give a damn how much money they take out of you. I don't give a damn how many NBA games and opportunities you're not going to have anymore. I don't give a damn. You need to snitch, because they're not really after you, the NBA player that they use as the face to say, oh, come on in, play with Chauncey Billups. They don't care about you, Chauncey. They care about the mob bosses.
Yeah, bro, because let's keep it. This was very strategic, because for one, they could have arrested Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups on different days, and Damon Jones Terry Rozier and Damon Jones involved in the same thing. They got something mutually exclusive going on, but Chauncey Billups is involved in something else that they was also investigating, what's the Royal Flush thing from the nickname. So yeah, they put that up there for that shock and awe, to be like, yeah, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. Damon Jones, a lot of people might not know unless you really tapped into the NBA, but Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, and Scary and Terry. I was about to say Scary Terry. Terry Rozier? Yeah. I'm going to need that. $23 million? Yeah. Need that.
Because also at these rigged poker games, they were also holding some of these victims at gunpoint, because they were going to make sure that they got their money.
Okay, so confirmed. It was armed robbery, not strong arm. It was armed robbery.
They're robbing folks out there. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you though. The other side of it, sports gambling, Terry Rozier, Jonte Porter, y'all are done. Y'all are done. I ain't gonna lie. There ain't nothing I can help with y'all on that one. Y'all are done. Y'all are actively participating in it. Y'all are doing things that y'all know is illegal. Y'all are a part of the scheme, and y'all are very directly connected to the scheme. So I can't. Allegedly now. But if you allegedly did do it, ain't nothing I can do. Ain't nothing I can handle with that right there. There's no advice. There's nothing I can say. Now, what exactly does this mean?
I don't even know if you can go play overseas at this point. I don't know what you can do. Keep gambling? I don't know. I don't see no way. Yeah, that's tough.
Large for the NBA. Well, as I recorded this video, news has already broke that both Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier will take a leave from the league. The Portland Trailblazers have already replaced Chauncey Billups with Tiago Splitter, and of course, Terry Rozier will not play any games until the investigation is over with. So that's step number one. Step number two.
Yeah, he's not playing any games anymore ever.
Is that Adam Silver has already made it aware that if you are an individual that wants nothing to do with sports betting, or you have a young individual who is watching games, you can have the choice to remove all of this from your viewing experience. If you don't want anything to do with sports betting, if you have a youngster in your home and you don't want them to see those fields, it could be password protected. Click, click. All of those fields are gone, and you don't have to experience any sports betting ads or an announcer commentating on probability, which I guess that's a right step in the right direction, Adam. However,
that's actually pretty cool. I will give him some credit for that, because yeah, I think I seen my nephew with it. He ain't even.
I need you and the rest of the NBA at large to understand the severity of what's happening right now. The history of the NBA and gambling and things going awry has dated back to the 90s and potentially further than that. But Michael Jordan and the NBA being investigated by the FBI from sports gambling. Of course, we have Tim Donaghy, the referee early on in the 2000s, sports gambling. And here we are now with another incident where you have effectively allowed the normalization of sports gambling by a very wide push, not only from the NBA, but its partners as well, where every time I watch something on TV or I'm actually viewing the game itself, it's right in my face. This is not a conversation about options. This is not a conversation about password protections. This is a conversation about the integrity of your sports. Be very mindful that Terry Rozier being arrested is not only interested because of the arrest, but remember, the NBA did their own investigation and claimed that they found absolutely nothing. But here we are several months later, and the FBI has found more than enough over a 4-year period to arrest him. So did you not really find anything? Or did you just wanted to sweep it under the rug and hope that nothing came about it? I'm going to be honest with you, Adam. This is it. This is what your administration, what your term as league commissioner, your legacy will be defined on how you deal with this Kawhi Leonard situation and also gambling that's happening in the NBA. Because you cannot just sweep this under the rug. You cannot just push this aside. This is damning. And the more and more we get deeper into this, the more FBI investigation, the more money that is being revealed, millions and millions of dollars, you look bad because you cannot sit here and tell us that you did an investigation, found nothing, but here we are now with the FBI arresting Terry Rozier and also rounding up a bunch of other people who are affiliated with the NBA. Be proactive.
Yeah, it is bad. It is bad on Adam Silver. I will say that is falling underneath him. But also I will say that some of these players hold obviously a high level of accountability for what's going on. And because it's all over the place. We just said it, bro. I can't get even if I'm just streaming something. I cannot escape the odds. They got parlays that they put in before the game, and I famously do not put those parlays in because I'm like, this is bait. This obviously is bait, bro. There's no way that this hits. And then you show that they record, they like 3 and whatever when they putting together these parlays. So I'm like, no. So I say that to say they are cooked. I will say also, I want to see what comes of this and who else is involved, bro. Because there has to be some other technology that they gotta put in place to where they just catch these dudes right away. Because there's no real way of, I don't know what the NBA has access to in compared to the FBI. So that's the only thing that I will give Adam Silver some type of bail on, is that the FBI is more extensive, and they've been putting this together for 4 years. I would assume, because also in conjunction with Lowe saying that they're trying to save face. They're trying to save face and also probably have the most swift investigation as possible to say, yep, nope, we didn't find nothing. Meanwhile, they're compiling 4 years worth of evidence. Because as soon as you say you investigate somebody, then that's tough. But we know what the Fed doing. The NBA is a basketball organization. I'm pretty sure that they're not trying to enforce law and order. They just trying to make a profit, basically. So this is bad, man. This is causing the question the integrity of the NBA, and people are already saying that a lot of stuff is rigged and so on and so forth. So I don't know how they're gonna combat this, but that's been the video, man. Shout out to Lowe. I'm gonna get us up out of here. Cool.